This is exactly why long-term fitness challenges do not work. I just completed one and I really struggled, backfired and even gained weight. So if you're interested to hear my story about my Thrive into Summer challenge, keep watching. Okay, that was probably an exaggeration. Some do work and I have done previous ones that have worked for me. However, this last one, the one I created, which is Thrive into Summer, really just backfired on me. I'm sorry if this starts to get very choppy. I'm just really trying to just speak off the top of my head, be vulnerable with you guys and just tell everything how it is. But firstly, if you're new here and you don't know me, my name's Melissa. I'm currently on a journey to being the best version of myself. The first phase of that is my physical journey, my weight loss and trying to be a healthier version of myself. So over the last few months, I've been doing different types of challenges or diets and different things to try and help me lose weight. I did the Insanity Challenge through September to October, and then starting this year, 2025, I did 75 hard. Now, I will say I saw a lot of success with my 75 hard challenge. I documented it all on my TikTok and Instagram if you want to go ahead over there and see. However, since finishing that challenge, I have struggled a lot, and this is basically what this video is for. After completing 75 hard, I kind of was in a very lost space. I didn't know what to do with myself and my journey, and I kind of started to panic. I also started to focus more on the content creation side, and if I'm going to be truthful, it did a lot for me. I started focusing so much on the numbers, the amount of followers I was getting, and obviously because I just completed 75 hard, a lot of people who followed me just followed me for that, and when I started to see those followers drop, I started to panic. I kept focusing on, oh my God, I'm losing followers. What do I need to do? So my first thought was, let me start a new challenge. Thrive into Summer was a way for me to try and learn how to be sustainable and try and figure out a way that I can do this long term and not think of it as a diet or a challenge. That was my goal and my intentions of doing the whole challenge. However, it backfired. I'm going to pop up on the screen now the rules that I set for myself for this challenge. I can't think off the top of my head, but yeah, here you guys go. To me, this was a really good challenge. I thought it was going to be easier than 75 hard because of, I was allowing myself to have indulgent meals and active rest days compared to doing back-to-back 2 workouts a day, drinking so much water. All the rules were 75 hard. However, I strangely found this one harder to stick to than 75 hard. I think just in general, starting this year doing 75 hard and then jumping straight into another challenge just was too much for me. Coming to think of it, I did not have a single day off of just pure rest for the whole of this year. And by this point, I was completely exhausted. Also, just the nature of these long-term fitness challenges and how restrictive they are and how much pressure you put on yourself, well, at least what I put on myself, it was just a lot, and this challenge really made me struggle, not necessarily physically, but mentally. If I'm being real, I did not need the challenge. I feel like I would have seen a lot more progress had I not restricted myself, set myself to certain rules, because it just became a lot. I was tired of it. And also, I feel like with this challenge, because it was a little bit more flexible than 75 hard or the Insanity Challenge, I was in denial a lot of the time, or really not being strict with myself as much as I could have been. I'm not necessarily saying I was being unhealthy, because I really wasn't, but I definitely wasn't tracking my calories as strictly as I was with 75 hard. So to me, I thought, I'm eating healthy. But just because you're eating good and you're eating healthy does not mean that you can't gain weight by overeating. And I definitely did overeat this challenge. And especially as I feel like I restricted myself pretty much the whole first of the year because of doing 75 hard. You're not allowed junk food and sweets and stuff like that. Then with this challenge, I gave myself just one day to have an indulgent meal and snacks and sweets. So yes, I was being healthy, but I wasn't tracking my calories. So yes, that extra bowl of yogurt and strawberries does add up. Yes, it's healthy, but to lose weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. There's no ifs and buts, no coconuts. To lose weight, you need to be in a strict calorie deficit. And during this challenge, I wasn't being strict. I'm not going to lie. I was just going with the flow, trying to do this intuitive eating and eating what was good for me, and then only having that one day as my bad day, but also going ham on that bad day to kind of compensate with how restrictive I was being. And I feel like that's also a reason that I saw some of my weight gaining back. Now, don't get me wrong. There were some weeks that I saw that scale go down and I was happy. Even 5 kg, I was like, yes, please. But that eventually did come back because I wasn't being strict. It's about accountability. I'm holding myself accountable. I wasn't being strict. I didn't realize how important counting your calories was. I know that sounds stupid, but it's true. You think, oh, I'm eating healthy, I'm doing this, but you can still overeat whilst you're eating healthy and eating whole foods or trying to restrict the bad processed food, you can still overeat, and that's what I was doing. Am I annoyed that I gained weight? Yes, but also no. I feel like I really needed this challenge to put into perspective to me that if you're not counting your calories, if you're not taking it seriously, you will see that weight going back. So yes, no, Melissa, you're not eating crisps, you're not eating chocolates, but you can still gain weight, even eating healthy. And it's been a lot. Some days I've been really sad about seeing no progress, especially over 60 days. You would think I have, but I'm also not going to let it get down to me, because at the end of the day, weight loss is a journey. This whole challenge has been a roller coaster for me. I've seen many ups and downs and successes and lows. I feel like I did really need this. I really did, because it's completely changed my mindset. 75 hard was great for discipline and consistency. My workouts, again, also have not been as intense. I've been, I wouldn't say necessarily lazy, because I have been exercising the days that I've set out to. I just haven't been pushing myself as hard. Haven't given myself a proper routine, and then adding on that I've been a lot more busy at work and the stress has added. It's been a lot, and it's been really hard for me to stick within a routine. I've learned that I really do need a routine to help me. And that's why I feel like I didn't actually struggle that much with 75 hard, because you did have a routine. It was structured, you had set plans. Whereas with this one, and adding on the fact that I was more busy at work, meant that I couldn't, do my exercises certain times that I wanted to. I just had no routine with this challenge. So I'm going to stop here, because I could ramble all day, but I want to get to basically the point of this challenge. So my progress, how much have I lost? Honestly, I'm about 1 kg up from where I started. I've gone higher than that and I've gone lower, but as I stand right now, I'm about 1 kg higher than when I started this challenge. I'm all about holding myself accountable, and I've been truthful. I have not been counting my calories, so I have seen a weight gain. The one thing I am so excited to talk about, and I did record this on the final video of my challenge, is that I have still seen a lot of progress, even though the weight and the scale hasn't made a change. The main reason why I wanted to do this challenge was because I had a holiday coming up. The last few times that I've gone on holiday or flown on a plane, I've had to use a seatbelt extender. Having to use a seatbelt extender, especially when you're big, for me was very humiliating. It was so embarrassing having to ask these flight attendants, can I have a seatbelt extender, in front of everyone, because usually you ask when you're sitting down. It was dehumanizing for me. I hated it. And I was embarrassed. Like, most people use seatbelt extenders because they're holding their child on their lap. I had to use it because I could not fit in. So my main goal for this challenge was to make sure that when I go on my plane, I wouldn't need to ask for one. And I did it. I did it. I did not need a seatbelt extender, and I'm so happy for that. So yes, the weight on the scale might not have changed, but clearly I've been doing something right, because I did not need it. And even though I have had many lows about this challenge, having that as my non-scale victory was just so uplifting. And I think that's why I'm probably in a better mood about not having seen progress, because I did. I had a non-scale victory, and that means more to me than any number that the scale can show. So what are my plans for the future? I've noticed that I've really been focusing a lot on the content side of stuff. That has also been restricting me to see progress in my physical journey. As I said previously, I really got to a point that I started to focus too much on the numbers, the followers, the views that I was getting, to the point that it started to overconsume me every single day, every single minute. And I just forgot the whole point of why I started posting in the first place. Some of you might have been following me for a while. Others might be new from my 75 hard challenge. But before 75 hard, I only had about 150 followers on Instagram and only 10 followers on TikTok. 10 on TikTok. I now have about 2,000 on TikTok and 1,000 on Instagram. But even before then, I was posting content with only 10 followers, because I didn't care about the numbers. I just cared about posting my journey. But then I just got lost in it all. And if posting is going to get in the way of me seeing success, then I feel like I will have to start to take a step back. Does that mean I'm going to be posting no content at all? No, but I'm just not going to care anymore. I'm not going to care about trends and what everybody else is doing or what I should do because people want to see it. I'm going to post what I feel like is right and good for me and what is sustainable for me. My workload at work has picked up a lot more, so I don't really have as much time to be posting the content that I was previously. Secondly, it really just started to become draining. I really started to dislike having to post because I was just pumping it out because I felt like I needed to. And thirdly, I'm not an influencer. My job is not a full-time content creator. I don't have just the spare time that the only thing for my work is to record. I have a 9 to 5, 35 hours a week full-time job. So I kind of just need to push myself back and remind myself, like, this is not something you do full-time. Right now, I just need to remind myself where I'm at and breathe. This next phase I'm calling phase 3 because I work in quarters, because I'm in corporate. That's just a me thing. This is phase 3. I'm in a very good place mentally. I have the discipline back behind me and consistency now, but I also now know the importance of counting my calories. Even though some days it does feel tedious, I just need to really sit down, focus, plan out my meals way in advance, meal prep, and I've got this. I know I do, and I'm even more excited now than I was the last 2 phases. This last challenge that I did, my Thrive into Summer challenge, will be my last long-term challenge. They just don't work for me anymore. They've taught me so many important lessons, and without them, I wouldn't be in a place that I am right now. Does that mean that I'm never going to do challenges again? Of course not. I do still really like doing challenges. However, I do feel like if I was to do a challenge, it would be like a 24 hours, 48 hours, or the longest being a 2-week challenge. But these 60 days, 90 days, 75 days, no, I'm over it. I'm over it. They were fun. They were good. They taught me so much, but I feel like I can put them behind me now and just focus on my lifestyle change, building a routine that fits me, and seeing the progress that I want to see. And I've said this in previous videos, but I do really want to focus on my long form content. I feel like long form is just the best for me. I love YouTube. It's where I started even before Instagram and TikTok. So I'm really going to strive with pushing more content on YouTube. So if you are interested and want to see more of that, please do subscribe. Also, if you do want daily updates, please go ahead and follow me on my Instagram. I also want to quickly say thank you guys so much for all the support that you guys have shown me on my last few challenges. Honestly, the support does not go unnoticed. I really, really do appreciate it. It's just so nice getting to speak to people who are in the same boat as me, giving me advice, and me also being able to share advice with you guys too. Also on that point, I do have a Discord channel that you guys can join, speak to us. There are other members on there that we all just share advice, our journeys, update each other. So if you want to join a bit of a community, go ahead and follow on there. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.